Alola Pokemon trainers, this is GatorX, and I gotta say it feels so good to say Alola once again because of what was revealed in the brand new Pokemon Direct this morning. Before I begin, I just want to remind you that I was right. Well, to a degree. First of all, I mentioned that my prediction for this Pokemon Direct was going to be an announcement for Pokken Deluxe and Gold Silver Virtual Console, but only those. I didn't expect an Ultra Sun and Moon to be revealed or anything, but I at least got 2 out of 3 of the things that were announced. Also on top of that, for the longest time I had been saying that 2017 would see the release of a follow-up to Sun and Moon rather than Diamond and Pearl remakes. And yes, I did make 2 whole videos talking about this, and okay, I'm gonna stop gloating about how I was right and just get into the nitty-gritty stuff. So of course this Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon trailer does reveal that yes, it's going to be the same in Alola, slightly different here and there. Of course we don't know how different it's going to be all around, but we do know for the most part there are going to be some different Pokemon. It looks like there are some added cutscenes here and there, and the biggest thing is that we see Solgaleo and Lunala both fused with Necrozma. So it seems like Pokemon Fusion is definitely back, and honestly I should have seen this coming a lot earlier. Looking at the promotional art for both of these Ultra Pokemon, I guess is what we're calling them, is it looks like both Solgaleo and Lunala are more luminescent than usual, almost as if they're broken down into light. Which makes sense because Necrozma, being the Prism Pokemon, would definitely break down that light, or at least harness that light of the Pokemon. And again, Solgaleo and Lunala representing the Sun and the Moon, which both give off light, at least according to ancient mythologies, definitely makes some sense. Here's the thing, the mere fact that Pokemon Fusion in the legendaries is going to be returning in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon does draw parallels to Black 2 and White 2, which I had mentioned in my live stream last night talking about predictions, so it seems like at the very least that idea is going to come to fruition. That does raise the question as to whether Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will follow a similar path. From the trailers it does look like the character you'll be playing as will start off in the same area as usual, but who's to say this doesn't take place years later and characters are aged up, or whether this is an alternate version or not. That does remain to be seen, but my bet is maybe it'll be a few years later, just because of the parallels to Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. As for the fusion itself of these Pokemon, it definitely seems interesting. I do think it's going to be keeping the same type of either Psychic Steel or Psychic Ghost, depending on the legendary, because Necrozma being Psychic, and only that type does make some sense. What I'm wondering now is how this is going to play into the story. One thing that has been mentioned before is that Necrozma has a relation to the Ultra Beasts. It's not exactly an Ultra Beast itself, but in some way it's similar. A lot of theories have stated that Necrozma is meant to fight the Ultra Beast, is meant to combat it. Perhaps in the new game, Ultra Beasts are even more of a threat, and so Necrozma has to fuse with either Solgaleo or Lunala in order to take them down. But I definitely am wondering how, at least in the story context, people are going to figure out that they're able to fuse. The interesting thing about the original Sun and Moon is that Colress did appear. Now, even though we thought he was there because he'd be talking about Z crystals and oh, this is the true way to unlock Pokemon's potential, it could be possible that he's the one responsible for allowing Solgaleo, Lunala, and Necrozma to fuse in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, since he was the head scientist in Team Plasma back in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, and I'm not completely sure, I haven't played those games in years, but I do believe he is the one who created the DNA splicers. So I definitely do think it's very likely for Colress to play a part in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Perhaps by this point he's even fully joined Aether Foundation, as many people speculated way back when. Either way, I'm extremely excited for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I'm definitely going to be getting Ultra Sun when it comes out later this year, November 17th, which is actually relatively soon compared to when this announcement was announced. Anyway, that's all I've got for this little discussion, but let me know what you think. Are you excited for follow-up games, and which one are you going to be getting? Leave a comment down below and we'll continue the discussion. You can enable notifications by clicking the bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it comes out and will make you a member of the Chingling Squad. Anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a nice day.